Welcome to No Prize Podcast. I'm the professor. That's Johnny. That's Lucas. What's going on, gentlemen?
It's playoff. It's championship weekend. Woo!
Yay! None of our teams are in it.
Yes, sir.
We all got
Can't wait. In the meantime, did you hear the news about Disney possibly buying the NFL?
I heard it the other way around.
I heard that the NFL
It's
is
yes.
like licensed
Both
in
ways.
ESPN, right?
Yes, so it's both. Right.
Yeah.
So NFL will buy stocks in NFL. In the meantime, Disney will fund the NFL at certain junctions and Hulu and all that other stuff. But the main thing is that's why Disney absolutely their stock absolutely shot up this week.
Well, also the news, of course. Sorry to interject there, but also the news that the WWE is now going to be on Netflix, which is joined a partnership up with UFC. So, it's like the powers that be are kind of saying, you know what, the current model isn't working for us. And here's the thing, and it ties into what Lucas has said about Disney Plus. I was on an interview this week with someone, and I was talking about quality comics and stuff. And he says, when I write a comic book and somebody has to pay $4.99 or $5.99 for my comic book, what you've got to bear in mind is you could get a Disney Plus subscription for that. And that, or a Netflix subscription, and you get a lot more time of enjoyment than you do for the 20 minutes you read a comic book. And you've got to be honest, I never thought of it like that, man. I never thought of it that when you buy a comic book, one comic book could equal a monthly subscription to a streaming service.
Yeah.
How bonkers from a price model is that?
It's crazy, right? It's crazy, and it's and getting back on like the TV deals and everything. I mean, who knew sports was? I mean, I knew sports was a big, but the WWE I never really considered kind of like on the level of NFL, but $5 billion deal for 10 years on Netflix.
It absolutely sells out everywhere it goes. Everywhere, every country, every stadium. It absolutely, the WWE is probably, even now, even though I don't think the wrestlers are as charismatic as Bret the Hitman Hart or The Undertaker or Shawn Michaels or even the late great Razor Ramon, there's still, you talk to kids now and they know who Roman Reigns is and who, that's about the only one I know currently. Who's the guy that does the RKO? Who's he? Is that
Randy Orton?
Randy Orton, there you go. And then, some Irish dude with some ginger beard thing going on. I mean, let's be honest. I think a lot of people are going to be watching the WWE for the lady wrestlers more than the male wrestlers nowadays. But I suppose it allows people like Ronda Rousey and to some extent, what's his name, the big guy, Brock Lesnar. It gives them the opportunity to transfer over to each sport easier. Because, I mean, both Ronda and Brock have been UFC champions and WWE champions. So, there you go.
It's an interesting world in which we live. And I can tell you the last live event I went to for the WWE was back before they were WWE. So, to 2002.
Back when it was the World Wildlife Foundation.
No, back when there was a lot of different wrestlers. I think Chris Benoit was the champion or something like that. If you remember that, That's bad press. We don't remember Mr. Benoit. So anyhow, hey, so we have just a full-on comic book episode today because no real news out of Disney Plus, no MCU news, and other than my Disney Plus subscription is going up again.
To pay for the NFL. Here's a question: would Disney have its own NFL team, and if so, what would they be called?
The Mighty Ducks.
They kind of that. That's a thingy, hockey team.
So they have the Panthers and hockey and football.
They could buy the Titans, so you could always say, "Remember the Titans."
Huh. How about the Disney Mouseketeers?
All that Mickey Mouse outfit because Mickey's in the
Mouse by name.
Yeah.
And if they come off with ugly outfits, we can just call them plain Goofy.
Great.
Hey, here all day, guys.
Hey.
That's it. No more bad jokes. Well, can't guarantee that.
All right, so let's spend some time talking some comic books today because we have a few that we're going to go through, and then maybe we could just kind of, shoot the shit about what's going on today in comics. This book, Johnny's pick this week, surprisingly enough, pick an Avengers book. It's usually my territory.
Did I pick an Avengers book? I'll get to that in a second. This is Avengers Twilight Book 1, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Daniel Acuna, VC's Corey Penn is on letters. I say it's a Marvel book because this is Marvel Avengers Twilight Book 1. Book 1, so it must be serious. Let's have a look inside the book, and you find out that the powerless Steve Rogers is facing an ugly regime as society has moved on from the superheroes. He is now left a broken and dispirited man. All that's left for him to do is reclaim his shield and get his cap back on. Wait a second. Is this 2024 or is this 1986? Because this sounds like an awful lot The Dark Knight Returns for Stewart. This is that same book. It is unbelievable how parallel this is to The Dark Knight Returns. I cannot believe every vibe, every turn of the page just screams, look at us. This is the Marvel Universe gone that bad. The government has disavowed all superheroes. Dark Knight Returns. Cap is getting his powers back. He's getting his shield back on, as I said. Dark Knight Returns. Superheroes against the government. Oh, well, you know what? That's just Civil War. What? Civil War? So hold on a second. We've got The Dark Knight Returns and Civil War all in one book from Chip Zdarsky, who, when he first got in Daredevil, it was really good. And then Devil's Reign was pretty good in places. Then that last run on Daredevil was, oh my God, I can't believe how bad this meandering strip is. His work on Batman, well, in Batman, he's created a whole multitude of different versions of Batman and used the same argument over several storylines. So God knows how that's going to end. I've seen more Batman than multiverses, and we know how many of those there are. The art on this book's a bit ropey. It's a little bit trying to be too clever for its own good. Tony Stark's kid's a punk and he's all tattooed up, and it's anything to give you that kind of shock value away from your saccharine sweet normal Marvel universe. For me, I think this book is probably 5 years at least too late. Because I think if you'd done this instead of Civil War 2, you might have had a bigger buy-in. But for me, it just screams, oh my God, let's just copy what we've done or what we've seen in the past. And it's not particularly well done. For me, the wheels of Zdarsky's wagon, for me, are starting to shake a little bit. And in fact, they've probably lost at least one because of that Daredevil. That second Daredevil series was terrible. That said, diehard Marvel fans will probably get a kick out of it, seeing their heroes as the future selves. But just the whole climax of the book kind of screws me over. The whole building Captain America is once in a lifetime achievement. So at the end of the book, this once in a lifetime achievement, we'll just do it again. So it wasn't once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime doesn't mean once in a lifetime anymore. It just means once every other year. Terrible, terrible. But I started this book. I looked at the book and I thought, oh well, it's interesting, And then it just kind of, as soon as I saw the parallels, I thought, well, why am I reading this? I'm just going to read The Dark Knight Returns because it's a much better book. There you go.
Lucas, what did you think of Avengers Twilight?
It became apparent to me that it doesn't matter what I think about this book because this book had a quite a successful week on the speculation in the speculation world. Um, People love the fact that there is a new Iron Man to actually do stuff, and he seems quite sober, kind of, sort of. Um, but in the meantime, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, we got another Iron Man. In the meantime, we just had a clone, and we had an AI Iron Man, and now we got this freaking guy. Where are we going with this? Because I do like the concept of Avengers Twilight, even though we've already had the old man Logan and the old man Harley and the old man this and the old man that, and everybody's got dementia and everybody's shitting in their fucking diapers and whatever, man. Okay, so how long is this? Is this supposed to be like a 3-part series or a 5-part series? I forget.
Too many part
Uh,
series. That's
Yeah,
what this
yeah.
is.
You know, so there was some good stuff. There was some good dialogue. I did like the dialogue. I do like the fact that when I read it, I feel like I'm actually reading somebody's actual conversations, right? Instead of like a writer trying to copy how they think somebody freaking speaks and everything. So I will give them great freaking dialogue. I will give them absolute freaking great art. I will give them a great freaking concept. I will agree that maybe it's a little late. We should have been had this new Iron Man going. Um, I disagree with their business concept of, well, we had to have a 1 in 200 because there was a 1 in 200 for this, and there was a 1 in 60 from Simone Bianchi, and then for number two, which I'll show you guys when we do the 2 minute warning, it's the same exact thing. So great book, great book. So the business concepts is just out of whack on this one.
well,
Oh.
I kind of like this, but I see where the problems lay on this. I actually thought Danielle Cuna's art on this was fairly decent. I liked I liked the fact that Steve Rogers looked old. He like when they were drawing him, he looked like an old man. He had that 10 years of flab on there from from a bodybuilder to someone that let himself go. I kind of enjoyed that look for him. Um, but it was I kind of think that Zdarsky actually made Steve Rogers feel like a fish out of water for like the second time. Like he wakes up from the 40s to the 60s, and he's missed that 20 years, so he's kind of out of touch with the times. And here again, he's older. He doesn't have the super soldier serum anymore, and he's even more out of touch with the times than he was before. So that's kind of making me wonder, like, why does the world really think that they need Captain America again, right? It's like if he's been out for that long, if he comes in, it's like kind of throwing Joe Biden in the suit. You know, he's too old. He's too old. You need some new vision. But the rest of it did smack of Dark Knight Returns for me, right down to the whole media aspect, where they spend a lot of time with the like watching the TV feeds, and actually the media with the whole trying to reform the Red Skull, which I thought was funny, kind of interesting, get obviously done to needle Steve, but everything else in the book, it just seems it is like we've seen this before. We've seen. I don't know how many times we need to see another evil version of Tony Stark, which in this case is his son James, the son of Tony and Jen, the Wasp. But I don't know. They jump back and forth, so you see like what caused what heroes. I can't remember what they called it, but it was like the D-Day for the heroes, where Ultron and Hulk destroy New York. And I don't know. It seems slightly interesting, but also like we've seen this before. So
I
I'll
mean,
I'll keep reading it because I like Avengers.
isn't the idea that the world give up on the Avengers, or the Avengers have given up on the world? Is that not the same plot device that's in the Avengers game that came out a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
One of them gets killed, so therefore they all disband. Getting killed and disbanded. That's a Dark Knight Returns idea. It's like, I get it. There's a reason why they mine it. The Dark Knight Returns is a great book. Maybe a little bit too satirical when you look at it with today's modern eyes. But back then it was groundbreaking. I can understand why they get mined for these sort of things. I just wish if they're going to mine it, can at least do a bit better job of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, no, that's okay. I actually came in thinking that everybody was going to kind of like this book, but
Lucas likes it.
I'm wrong. Well, he probably likes how it's selling.
Yeah, I like how it's selling. Sold a couple of books. I'm just not sure where it's going to go. I mean, or maybe it's like Johnny said. This is 6 years too late. They should have already been twilighting a bunch of these characters so that the other characters can step up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So let's get away from Avengers Twilight. So, go check that one out, baby. Yeah, let's go to Punisher. We're gonna. If you didn't like Avengers Twilight, I don't know if you're gonna like a Punisher. All right.
Well, you should say that.
So Punisher, written by David Pepose, arts by Dave Wachter, or the Watcher, color artist Dan Brown, letters by VC's Corey Pettit. If you didn't like it, the editors are Annalise Bisa, Tom Brevoort, Martin Biro. It seems like every time I shout out the editors, man, are these guys editing everything? That's weird.
So.
That's weird. All right. So hey, this isn't your dad's Punisher. This is a new guy. Instead of Frank Castle, we get Joe. What's his last name? It sounds like Castle. It means Garrison. Joe Garrison. Yeah. Okay. So kind of, same name, same guy, different plot. No. This Punisher, the reason his reason for being is because his wife and kids got killed. Wait.
No. Who'd have thunk it, eh?
No, that's weird. That seems like the same origin of Frank Castle. Oh, okay. So now, because his wife and kids were killed, he's trying now to figure out who killed his wife and kids so that he could take revenge on the underworld. Oh, wait, no, that's not that's Frank. No, that's Joe. Oh, okay. Well, here we go. This issue. Hey, the villain in this issue is the daughter of Mr.
Scarecrow.
Fear.
Scarecrow, right?
Yeah, no, Mr. Fear. But she calls herself the Fear Master. Or wouldn't you call yourself the Fear Mistress? Or are we doing
gender
pronouns
fluid
differently again? We're gender fluid. Yeah, she identifies as snake-like. So I don't know why that is either.
Because she uses toxins.
So the artwork here is reminiscent to me of that Daredevil run of Zdarsky's Daredevil run that I liked so much. I like the artwork. The story is plain vanilla by the numbers again. I just didn't like I was like, well, if you're going to tell this kind of a story, why is Frank gone? Did Frank have just like such a bad reputation that they had to cancel him and hit the reset button? But it's the same character. If you like, I'm reading this and I'm like, every single panel you could have drawn Frank. I would have bought it. This would have been the same book that we have always gotten. I don't know what's different. I don't know why. And I don't see the reasoning behind the replacement if the book is going to stay the same. So I mean, the premise is the same, the plot's the same, the everything. That he even has a microchip named AAA, right? Except they recast her as a
To
there was a diversity casting here for microchip.
just to quote John Bon Jovi, it's all the same. Only the names have changed. Every day it seems we're wasting away.
Yeah. So now you guys tell me if there's anything different from this Punisher from the last one, and I'll go with it. It's just it seems to me like this is the exact same plot, story, character, just like you said. Only the names have changed.
Mm. Um, if I may be so bold,
You may.
me, woohoo! I don't. I like David Propose. I've met him a few times when he was writing Spencer and Locke, an independent book that's kind of a homage to Calvin and Hobbes. And he extrapolated the idea of having other personalities in the mind's eye in that book. And we, of course, Propose also wrote Savage Avengers for a while. You're absolutely right. There is nothing different between this Punisher and the last Punisher. All right, that there's no escaping that. However, Propose does kind of build on that psychological edge when he's all scarecrowed up and he sees visions and so on, and that's what makes this book interesting. The kind of the dialogue, the inner dialogue that Joe's having with the idea of his dead wife and how that kind of formats his plan. He's not. This book isn't just about avenging them. Halfway through this book, his mission changes to not just avenge us, Joe, avenge everybody. And I think that has a little bit of a curveball, and it's built on that. Yeah, you're right. You know, microchips there, and there's AAA, and there's a cop, and they're going to be the best of frenemies, and all that sort of stuff's going to be pretty much the same. But this book at least attempts to extrapolate and build on moving Joe from being just a avenge my family to avenge a wider populace, which should hopefully mean he gets involved with other people down the line. As for why they got rid of Frank as opposed to change him up, is it just that Frank Castle became such a legal burden to Marvel? Was the PR that bad that they had to then disavow him somehow and then bring a Punisher book back, slightly different look to make it less in your face? I don't know. But
I don't know.
if you're going to do that, you wouldn't call it the Punisher and just call it something else. But you want
Frank,
that brand recognition. But no, to be honest, if you're thinking story wise, I think they wrote themselves in the corner with Frank Castle, especially when they got tied up with the Hand and becoming the sort of like the demon, the host for the Hand demon and all that sort of stuff that went on. The metaphysical stuff just doesn't fly with this kind of street level character. So I can understand trying to go back to basics again,
yeah.
and clean the board. I understand it from that point of view, but you know, superheroes come back from the dead. It's got to be a Frank Castle thing. There must be something from a PR thing that, and maybe Luke can help us with that. There must be a PR thing somewhere for Frank getting 86 and replaced.
Yeah, but Frank's still in the MCU, and they're bringing back John Bernthal for Punisher and Daredevil Born Again. So I just I just didn't see the reasoning behind that.
Cool. There you
So Lucas, what did you think of Punisher?
If I hadn't read it, I don't think I'd miss it.
go. Good
You know,
call.
it,
Good call.
it's not that I don't think it's good. It's not, or that it's specifically bad. It's just that I don't understand what we're here for. Other than the very last page and some of the snippets in and out of there where they talk about Jigsaw. Okay, I didn't. You could have dropped this in any other book and I would have been fine. As you're trying to introduce this, I think it's a new character, or is it the same William character named William Russo? I don't know. I don't know. Um, the art was passing. It was good. It was. I think I'm trying to think. Is was there two artists, different artists on this one? Because it's some pages it seemed like there was one specific mindly focused on, hey, here's the action, and then in the other one it was like, hey, by the way, there's this horrific stuff going on. Let me go ahead and fucking put my creep show talent on this one. Once again,
No,
it's not.
I don't think there was two different artists on this one. I think
Then
Yeah.
hats off to him. But it was just like, I feel like we should just pick one or the other. Either we're going to do, and that's the thing, we should either if we're going to do a law enforcement engagement book, right, where you're talking about police brutality and police not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or we can talk about freaking some horror stuff, which is with the fear of master, mistress, whatever was heavily involved in and skinning people apparently, which would that would have been a great freaking book, right? To freaking read. Or we can go into the woe is me, my wife and kids are freaking dead. That's another book. It didn't really work here for all three to be mixed and matched and freaking jumping in and out of each other.
mm,
So it was like, eh, it's like it's a technically sound book. Absolutely, it's a technically sound book, but the pieces that they're trying to put, it's like two jigsaw. There's too many pieces going in, and I didn't feel it didn't make me go like, oh man, I can't wait to read Punisher #4.
Mm.
there's two jigsaws and no picture to work out what the hell's going on.
The top of that book should say the man is different. Everything else stays the same.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll jump into a couple of other books. Let's check out that. All right. Make sure to check out Crisis in the Toyverse for all the latest and greatest in the toys that are coming. All right. Let's jump into our next review. Lucas, tell me about Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yes, so Star Wars Thrawn Alliances #1, written by Timothy Zahn and Judy Hauser, art done by Pat Olaf and Andrea DeVito, colors done by Rachel Rosenberg, letters done by Travis Lanham, and cover art done by Rod Reese, Torrin Clark. Like this one was done by Torrin Clark right here. Editor was Danny Cosm. If you guys want to throw the blame towards some people on this one. So this is supposedly set in between like the third and fourth season of Star Wars Rebels, right? Um, People have alluded that, hey, this is like the first time Thrawn and Vader kind of work together, but it's a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more bouncing back and forth in between. Yes, that first appearance of Anakin and Thrawn, then it goes into more of an adventure of Vader and Thrawn. In the meantime, you got Padme running around in the background, and the eventual setting will be in about two, apparently. Um, I know people ask for more Thrawn stuff. Got it. Absolutely freaking great. Right? Here you are. They did some great art. They gave you some great freaking cover art and everything. But the jumping back and forth in between the then and then the now storylines did not freaking mesh, man. Either give me one or give me the other, or just give me the one page of the what happened then that explains what the fuck's about to happen. Um, in this one, No, so we've built Thrawn up to be such a big bad guy, right, and everything. But this book, particular issue, didn't show it. Like what he just once again just seems like Vader's or the Emperor's little bitch in this one. Like, hey, I need you to go here and freaking discover what the heck this disturbance is over here. And he goes, yes, sir, and he goes off. So I don't quite. I get understand. I get because of customer demand. That's what this book is. But I don't understand where they were going with because this is. I think you guys were telling me this was built on the 2018-2019 book or something like that.
Yeah, so it's a novel. It's based. Bud was absolutely right with this. It's based on a novel. So if you want more Thrawn, give us more Thrawn. Don't give us more of the same that we've already had.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to give this an absolutely. So it's tough. Here's why it's tough. The speculators ate this shit up. They bought the crap out of this freaking book
Because they didn't know better.
because they don't read. They just look at the pretty covers and say, "Oh, that's pretty. Let me go ahead and grab it." And they grab the cover A, which had this photo. Then they grab. There's another one out there, which is the promo joint. The Star Wars Third Alliance promo poster. Grab that one. And then the ones that could afford it, they grab the 1 in 100 of this, which is going for like 250 bucks. Right? So that's the only reason why I brought this up. It's like, hey, great, you guys got the cover you guys wanted, you got a book that you guys wanted, but there's nothing in this guts that's going to change anything inside the Star Wars universe whatsoever, or gave us any type of illumination about what the heck is going on. If you buy it for the cover, buy it for the cover, but don't buy it for the story that's inside. That's all I gotta say. Because I couldn't even see how this was a book, me.
Mm.
But what did you guys think?
Johnny.
I don't like how you said that. You're like, oh, Johnny boy.
Well,
All right, okay.
I'll tell you what I thought.
You go first. I'll hold up the rear on this one.
So I felt about this book the way I feel about some of the other books that Marvel is publishing Star Wise wise, like The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan. And well, I'm sure we're going to get an Ahsoka at some point. It's just a retelling of the show that we already saw. So this is really a book, a story, a reinterpretation of the book that a lot of people already read. If you're a fan of Timothy Zahn and you want to kind of read the story you already read in comic book form, then this is for you. And if you like Thrawn and you never read the Zahn books, you should check this out because nobody writes Thrawn like Zahn. Zahn created the character, so it's his character. And if you don't like what he does in this book, it's Zahn wrote him. Zahn can write him what he wants. I always thought Thrawn was an intriguing character. I enjoy when I see him. I thought he came off really great on Ahsoka. This was kind of more of the same. But you're right, Lucas. He's not a Vader level villain. He is kind of like a tactician. He's not bad. He's not a bad guy. He's he's just smarter than you, and that's what I liked about him is because whatever you threw him into, he could think his way out of it. And he does work for the Empire, but for me, I always just thought of him as just more clever than your average bear. So I like this book, and if you're not, he's not going to give you straight evil. That's why I suspect Vader's in here. So, Johnny,
Right.
there we go.
Right. Okay, thank God Timothy Zahn's on this book because, I mean, you're absolutely right. He created Thrawn. He should know what's going on. Absolutely. But I disagree with Bud a little bit. If you want to see Thrawn done right, buy the bloody books. It's the novels. Buy them. You don't have to worry about bad art. How bad's the art? Well, I'm glad that halfway through the book, the female character goes, "Hi, this is Queen Amidala." Because if she hadn't said that, I wouldn't have known at all.
True.
It is just a woman. And I'm like, who's that supposed to be? I also don't like the way that everything has to entwine. You know, Anakin has to know Thrawn. Thrawn has to know Han Solo. Han Solo has to know this. It's a galactic war, for Christ's sakes. Are you telling me there are only 10 people in this galactic war that lasts over 17,000 different systems and all the different planets? No, I just don't get it. Why entwine everything? This book, the beat's wrong. It's another effort to show you how bad Darth Vader can be. When we all know that Darth Vader is the worst villain ever. He only succeeds in one job that he's ever had to do. He's been told to destroy the Jedi kids. Check, done. Stop Obi-Wan, can't do it. Stop Obi-Wan again, can't do it. Stop Obi-Wan for a third time on the Death Star, can't do it. Stop the Death Star getting blown up, can't do it. Capture the Millennium Falcon, doesn't do it. The bounty hunters do it. Turn Luke Skywalker, doesn't do it. Turn Luke Skywalker again, doesn't do it. He is the world's, in fact, he's the galaxy's worst bad guy. He's got the best PR and the absolutely piss-poo performance. Honestly. Thrawn is a tactician, and it's great when you see him outthink that. The first couple of panels where you see him talk about, oh, they've done this, they've done that. He shows courage to do this. That's Thrawn all the way through. That's great. But as for the rest of it, no, back the hell up. Go and find the novels and read those. In fact, start with Heir to the Empire. That's where you need to go from. Right?
Yep.
There you go. Job's done. Thank you very much.
Well, and years ago they did interpret Heir to the Empire in that trilogy in comic book form. So go check that out too. But I mean, read the books instead.
Yeah, read the books first.
You get more out of them.
Definitely.
All right. Let's move on.
Everyone's like, Johnny's had his Weetabix today.
So we're going to talk Spider-Woman? Is that what we're having our eye on Spider-Woman?
Sure, why not? I
Why are you
have
doing
it
it?
set,
Why are
but
you-
we can definitely talk about it.
Why are you doing this to me? I think I might have it if you give me 2 seconds. I might have.
I believe Lucas said he had his eye on Spider-Woman, so I
Well,
think
we all have our eye on Spider-Man.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, and then
Then you read the book and you read the book and decided, oh my god, there you go. Spider-Woman.
Well, I'm just gonna I guess spoil the book for everybody, but this book swerved me. That's why I thought Lucas wanted to talk about it. Was I got halfway through this book and I was like, oh my god, they turn in Jerry into Spider-Boy or something like that, where like everybody's mind wiped from remembering that he existed. So I was like, oh, this is a Spider-Boy thing, and it's going to be part of a gateway thing of that upcoming sidekick thing that we have coming up. And then by the final page of this book, I was like, oh, well, I guess that's not true. So so apparently they artificially aged Jerry into the Green Mamba, who is the worst villain name I think I've heard in a long time. But well, at least Johnny has been arguing for months about what happened to the kid. And now we know.
I wish I'd never opened my mouth. No.
Well, I mean, so maybe this is another bigger argument, right? Why can't heroes have kids anymore? Like, why do they just need to get rid of them all the time? Like, they need to just erase them or, get them, or age them up. We've seen it before, but
it is for
John Kent. They aged him up so they can give him a lover.
But the thing you've got, I get why they've done that for the John Kent one. It goes into the diversity argument again. But the other flip of this is the actual Damian Wayne and John Kent book, the Super Sons book, was fun. It was a fun comic book.
Yeah,
it was a really good read. Damian being all like dark and mysterious like his dad, and John being all innocent and naive like his dad. and the two have a much better relationship than Batman and Superman ever had. So I don't understand why they had to destroy that relationship in order to do what they wanted to do, instead of just making a regular character the diverse character, or the diverse element. That if you're gonna, there's an argument to be made why we're doing this with lesser characters as opposed to main ones, but hey ho. So Spider-Woman 3.
Yep. So it's back to basics, right? I mean, Spider-Woman versus Hydra,
Mm.
and but in the context of this gang war crossover that's going on, and it's funny that the villain in this is Diamondback, the Luke Cage Diamondback, not the Serpent Society Diamondback, which kind of throws me off when they give Diamondback the Green Mamba sidekick, and I'm like, oh, is it the Serpent Society? No. Just like, why are these opportunities lost? But
Yeah,
anyway, this is kind of loosely tying into gang war, right? I mean,
yeah. There's
it,
not. You're absolutely right. Let's give some credit. So it's written by Steve Fox.
okay.
Corolla Borelli is on art. Arif Prianto is on colors. This is Joe Sabino's on letters. And you're absolutely right, but this is akin to the gang war, because on the opening gatefold where it says who's got what of New York City, Diamondback has something and Diamondback's in the book. That's it. That's the only connection. There's nothing going on in this book that lends to the main gang war event.
Right.
I'm doing event that way because, in all fairness, is there anybody who gives a rat's ass about gang war?
No,
Eh,
because it seems like a regular fucking Tuesday in freaking Marvel, in New York, right? Okay, Spider-Man goes in, fights a bunch of bad guys. She-Hulk gets mad, fights a bunch of bad guys. Daredevil gets mad or finds something's happening, so he goes a bunch. There's no actual war going on. Nobody's died yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
No.
it's it. I don't know. It's silly. I like that they have so many uh gangster type characters and villains, like like Tombstone, and like some of these characters coming out of the woodwork that we haven't seen in a while. Um, but there's just so many of them. It's like you can't keep track of them, and it's like for every borough in Manhattan there has to be a gang lord, and I'm just like, why is that the case? And why is Shang-Chi a gangster? Uh,
Chinatown.
I
So yeah, so every neighborhood, so it is so that part is a real thing. Like so for every downtown freaking type borough, there is a criminal network and that is their territory. That's a thing, right? Um would a superhero necessarily need to be fighting for primacy and all of those? I don't think so. But maybe they get paid to enter themselves in certain freaking scrimmages, maybe. For instance, like I think in a map it showed that Miles Morales was it Miles Morales or was it Spider Man? It had at least two blocks in one of the maps that I saw. I was like, what why do we do what are we doing here? Right? Um, but otherwise, I think that the gang war is something that should probably happen like every 2 to 3 years. I get that. I think that something needs to happen, but there needs to be more clarification of what is actually happening and who's fighting who because this is supposed to be gang war, and all I've got is Spider Woman falling out of the air, and then now they're talking about the sun and Diamondback. And wait, wasn't Diamondback supposed to be fighting? I don't know who I don't know who's fighting who, and it's weird. It's
I
not
mean,
very clear.
Diamondback is traditionally a Luke Cage villain, so uh, I imagine he's probably running around over there in Luke Cage too. But I can't remember because none of these have their own identity. It's like the books they all feel the same. And in those weeks that you get 4 or 5 books, it's the same. It's like the same thing with the X-Men. Every time you get like 4 or 5 books, and I read them, and I can't remember what happened in which one. They all read the same. They look the same. The same characters are all in the same in each issue. It's just like, what the heck am I doing? Wasting
Mm.
all this time.
See, now that you bring up Luke Cage, now I'm confused because they made him the mayor just about a year ago,
Yeah,
just for him to get involved
yeah. And now he wears a
in this game
mask
war.
so that he can be a vigilante and breaking his own laws. And yeah,
And,
it's a mess.
in,
It's a mess.
in the meantime, you brought back Kingpin with zero fanfare. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be dead. Everybody's supposed to know, and he's like, "Oh, he just shows up.
Yep,
He just
but
shows up."
he walked away, right? So he's like he doesn't want to do this anymore because now he's married to Typhoid Mary and doesn't want to.
Yeah, fishnets. Woo.
Yeah, and he's appearing more in the X-Men books than he is in these books. So
Mm.
it's
So he's in a gang war, but he's also running around with the what's the name of the house in
the
Emerald?
Hellfire Club.
Yeah, because he's also the White King.
He's the White King. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So I don't know. So don't you feel like the X-Men are kind of appropriating some of our Marvel like Iron Man and Kingpin?
Well, I think they have to get back into the Marvel universe proper, don't they? That's the thing.
Yeah.
The they've been so ostracized as Krakoa that we need to start building the relationships with the Marvel universe proper, so that when the X-Men gets rebooted in a couple of months' time, that there is actually a level of awareness in the superhero community that the X-Men are there, or at least that the X-Men are having impacts on their lives. What I mean is that so they're interacting rather than just having the Krakoan embassy in Central Park. Yeah.
Put
So
Beast back on the X-Men. That's what'll fix it. I mean, back on the Avengers. That's what'll fix everything.
put Beast on the yeah.
Blue furry Beast back on the Avengers. I'm calling it.
Well, I like the idea of the is it the Uncanny Avengers book where they've got some mutants on there with Cap, and I quite like the idea of that. I think Rogue needs some time in the spotlight. I think Rogue needs some time in the spotlight away from Gambit. I think Rogue is defined, and I would, yeah. I'm not saying break the two up because that I'm not a big fan of divorce just to sell stories, but I do think they need to have potentially different ideologies again. It's kind of like kind of different points of view.
Yeah.
The current Krakoan storyline of the X-Men does kind of take away from the fact that it's like everyone's a mutant, so therefore everybody wants to live on Krakoa. Well, that's not always the case. People have different points of view. It's not Star Trek where everyone gets on. People do disagree, and you can't just throw them in the pit like they did with Sabretooth. But back to this book, I think the art's wonky all over the place. I like esoteric art. I think it adds a level of creativity. But when somebody draws a right foot on the end of a left leg, I'm like, dude, I'm done. If you want to know what I'm talking about, give me 2 seconds. I'll bring it up because it's right. Is it there? Where is it going to be? Come on, where is it?
Is it like that page 3?
There
with,
it is.
Jessica
There it
and
is.
the web?
That's it. Check that out. That is a right foot on a left leg. Now, if you're giving me that as a professional artist, well then, dude, come on, sort your stuff out, man.
What are we doing?
But the idea, I don't like the fact that Jerry's in the Green Mambo suit. I do get the kind of mirror of that because obviously Jessica was brainwashed at one point
with Hydra. Yeah.
So I get it. There's a mirror. There's a symmetry to that. I understand it, but I don't particularly like it. I don't like that he's aged up. So there we go.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do. Do we have enough time to do a 10-minute, 2-minute warning today? Or
we always have time for a 10-minute, 2-minute warning.
All right. Here's something to be aware of. Penguin Random House, which is the distributor for Marvel, is signed a contract with Wattpad Webtoons to do printing and whatever of graphic novels and comics. For those that don't know what a pad webtoon is it is a free service that is online where people usually put their anime and manga, right? So the way it works in the anime manga world is you put your anime manga comics there for free for people to read. Once it gets enough viewers, then somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, let's print this." And from print, it goes into your freaking books, and then yada yada yada, right? So DC and Marvel said, "Oh, well, let's try that," and they have been doing it, and they have got success. I think they are. If there is one that they actually printed, it was like Batman Joker with the Batman baby. It was kind of crazy. So this is going to be something to look and see what's going to happen with this. If Marvel is going to take some of the stuff that is in the webtoons and use this vehicle to do some further comics and do new characters. Thrawn Alliances, there was a bunch of damages for that one, so if you don't see them on the shelves, do not fret, don't freak out. The retailers are going to be able to return those, get new ones, and then get them out. So if don't pay ridiculous prices for this one, which is the promo variant, and also there is damages on the 1/100 and the cover A as well. So don't freak out, don't pay ridiculous prices.
Can
The
you share your
new
screen?
oh, sorry about that.
Rookie error.
There we go.
Hey.
Yes. Yeah, this one right here is the promo variant. So this is the one that a lot of people have been buying. So if you don't see it, do not freak out. Don't go on eBay and buy it and pay ridiculous prices. Just wait about maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and those retailers will be able to get newer ones for this
Hmm.
one. All right, so here are some of the ones that are trending for this week. Incredible Hulk #8, Wolverine #42, and these are coming out in maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So they're not even out there yet, but people have been buying pre-sale. Carnage #3, Spider Boy #3, and Ultimate Spider #1, the second print. People have been interested in buying.
I'm
Yeah,
not I'm not happy with that new Hulk book. I just don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah,
who's
I
writing
kind
that
of.
now? It's somebody we like, though, isn't it? Who's writing it?
Uh, I can't remember. I don't.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Do I have it?
Kennedy? Is his name Kennedy?
Philip Johnson Kennedy.
Yeah, I believe
They
that's
don't
the
have it
guy,
on the
right?
cover here. Yeah, they don't have it on the cover. Um, Taylor Swift mania abounds, right? Um, Look, so the rumor has been is that Taylor Swift is going to be inside Deadpool movie as Dazzler. So there's a bunch of comics that are coming out with that to include this one, and this is not even Marvel. This is Tidal Wave doing a bio comic for Taylor Swift, and they just decided to do a couple of covers with her as freaking Taylor Swift. Um, so
Is that supposed to
the,
be a Wolverine and a Deadpool head?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Except
Uh,
the Deadpool head looks like Paul Rudd.
And the Wolverine
Yes.
head looks like Frank Castle.
Eh,
The one I have up there, there's only like 100 copies up there, so pick your poison.
If you get it, don't forget to shake it off.
Here are the comic books that came out this past week.
Oh,
Spider Woman, the book we just talked about, issue #3. There was a cover C, Emilia Lazo variant. This one was a 1 in 25. I've had several females complain, including some that was in my other podcast, and came in the chat like, "We don't like this one." Like, all right, what's wrong? I was like, because if she was upside down, no, her boobs and other parts would be just drooping all over the place if you're upside down. I was like, oh, it kind of makes sense and
a head. Yeah, the head, the freaky one. I will say this: I did pick up the ski suit variant Spider Woman #2 for
everything.
cover
Ski
price.
Chalet, yes,
Yeah,
Ski Chalet.
yeah.
So, with Jerry being grown up, you might want to pick up issue #1. There is a 1 in 100 out there that's kind of expensive right now, but it's kind of you might think about picking that up, even though his face was finally uncovered in this issue. So something to think about. X
Awful,
Force,
awful,
oh,
awful cover.
yes, and that
what
is
the
why it's
heck?
sold out. It is so terrible. that
That-
people loved it, loved that it was so terrible. So that's why they bought this book, and it is now sold out at the distributor level.
I'm not sure, but I think I'm going on record and say I think I can draw Wolverine better than that.
So who's the artist on this?
Fuck if I know.
Holden by who? Ah, it was someone.
Yeah, somebody, but it was kind of funny because we kept talking about it last night. And I was barely paying attention. I just provided it. They would talk about it. It was like, yeah, because they felt like they were saying that whoever was possibly making fun of Frank Miller for his art or something
Is
like
that
that.
is that John Cassaday that did that cover?
Let's see. It's
I
coming.
I see the signing on the
X-Force. What number X-Force is this?
48. Yep. John Cassaday variant. So come on, that we're being punked, right? Is that really? That's got to be like John Cassaday's kid that drew that, right? Not John Cassaday, because
No, John Cassaday.
that's his initials down the bottom under Wolverine's armpit.
Yeah, that's a John Cassidy according to Preview World. Yeah,
That's not. I mean, come on. We've all seen John Cassaday's artwork. That's not John Cassaday drawing that, unless he did it left-handed.
hey, don't knock left-handed people. Son of a-
You know what I mean? Opposite-handed. You're
There you
doing
go.
opposite-handed.
Neurodiversion handed. All right.
Hey,
He's he identified as a left-handed person from.
I am a left-handed person.
You did. You probably that cover probably looked like you did it.
Fine.
Resurrection of Magneto. This one was done by Stefano Caselli. Storm looks great. Magneto, okay, but this one is sold out.
I only got halfway through that book, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just,
I got 2 pages. I was like, right, I'm done. Next.
that's a great looking cover.
This one sold out as well. Yeah, John Tyler Christopher, negative.
Yeah, I
Sold
love
out.
these negative space covers.
Yep, Thrawn Alliances. This is the 1 to 100. All right, here are some of the books that are on FOC this week. Thrawn Alliances number 2, The Raza.
There's something wrong with Vader's back there. His left eye is absolutely obscured by that shadow. It's absolutely awful. That helmet needs to come out a little bit more at an angle. It's like he's wearing
someone
a flat.
pinched it. It looks how someone pinched it.
It's like wearing like a flat. He's like wearing a flat visor, isn't he? Rather than his bulbous eyes.
Yep. It's like looks great until they messed up the end.
Yeah.
Avengers Twilight.
Is that a reprint? A second print?
Yes, sir. A second print.
Avengers Dark Knight Returns. And just before we move past this, what I will say, Avengers Twilight, just very much like the Twilight movie, there were no vampires.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Mm. Here we go. Avengers Twilight number 2.
She looks thick.
Kamala Khan action.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
she's probably older in these, like probably like 40, 50. Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize. She's supposed to be thick. Alex Ross.
This one is Bill Noto. Is a Torrin Clark.
Right. She doesn't look thick in that.
That is awful.
I don't know, man, because I kind of like it because she looks in this one. She looks more like almost every Middle Eastern woman that I've ever met in this one than any other one.
I meant the whole cover. I mean, the Cap America just looks awful. It reminds me. I don't know who the artist is, but do you remember Force Works back in the 80s?
Dave Hoover, Dave Ross.
Those absolute awful flat body poses.
Yeah,
that's what he got with Cap. I agree the Miss Marvel looks canny, but the Cap America at the front just looks horrendous.
And then this one is your 1 to 200 lightning bolt variant.
Dark Knight Returns.
I was just variant.
It's like how apt. Oh, we're doing a Dark Knight Returns. Sorry, let's have a prestige cover on it, just in case the people don't realize that we're just copying a book from 30, 40 years ago. Great.
Daniel Acuna.
Oh, I like that cover. Except she looks like Giant Woman.
Well, she has that power, doesn't she?
I believe
Does
she
she?
does. I believe she can grow. Yeah.
Yeah, if she can stretch, she can grow.
Yeah, but she can shrink too. So yeah.
And she can change appearances. She can be MJ if she wants, you know.
Yeah, she can do anything. She's like cosmic powered.
She's like marvelous.
She's She could do whatever the Disney Plus channel says she can do.
Yeah.
Sabretooth Wolverine.
That would have been better if it was Mike Mignola. And there we go, another god awful colour.
What's up? Yeah, what's up with the shadows in the face?
Well, when you can't draw faces,
I know, but Bud's absolutely right with this. If the sun is behind you and causing a shadow so you don't see your face, then the only thing you should be able to see from the front of Wolverine is his left knee because he's outside of that shadow. The rest of it should also be black.
Yeah.
If the sun is behind him and you can't see. And if the sun's behind him, why is it not affecting the other two behind him?
Well, it looks like most of the light is hitting his chest, so you should be able to see his face.
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Where's your light source? Where's your light source?
movie lighting. Yeah. So, is your Wolverine? 1/100. Lionel Yu.
That one's all right.
Yeah.
Although
And this one is
why is Sabretooth turned? It looks like he's only got 3 fingers. He's in The Simpsons.
Well,
The claw will get you.
is that the Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth?
I'm not sure, but there's a 25 on his shoulder. So that's what Sabretooth number 25 or Sabretooth Universe 25.
Okay.
Oh.
Power Pack.
Yay!
Hey, we'll
Love this
be
one.
reviewing that one next month.
Yes, I was going to force us to review it, but I was like,
Well, it's the original creative team, so there you go.
Amazing Spider, Don Romita Jr., Mask.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one who
100.
thinks Romita Jr. has been phoning it in over the last few issues of Spider-Man?
No, you're not the only one.
Okay, cool.
Giant blockheads. Everybody looks like Hammerhead. Peter Parker.
Yeah, the same thing. Amazing Spider-Man number 44, just the Peter Parker variant. Or Peter Parkerverse, excuse me. Peter Parkerverse variant.
Huh.
97 by Carlos Gomez.
Who's that?
So,
Was that Prowler? Was that a Prowler new costume? The purple? I don't know. Where's his legs?
Rocket
who's
Racer.
this guy?
It's Rocket Racer.
Hey, Rocket Racer.
Why is his wheels on fire? Jeez.
Because he's racing away like a rocket. How ends it? It's like his
the wheels on fire doesn't make it go any faster.
That's Ghost Rider. It works for him.
Yeah, but he's out of hell.
Yeah.
He's got rockets on the back of his skate, Lucas. That if you do you remember Rocket Racer back from the 80s?
I don't.
Yeah. You're not missing much.
He was one of those misunderstood villains.
Like the Prowler.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the Prowler the first time around, I'm not gonna lie.
Hobie. I like Hobie.
Yeah, I like Hobie. Maybe we should have all timers about those types of characters.
Hypno Hustler, baby. That's one of my He's one of my favorites. the disco ball, man. Come on.
Shrike. I mean, I never understood what Shrike was all about.
Oh, Killer Shrike.
You guys can do a whatever happened to ...
The Mind Worm. Yeah, what happened to him?
Yeah. Invisible Iron Man number 15. This one is a 125 by.
Did you say Invisible Iron Man?
Invincible. Excuse me. Invincible.
Is that Emma Frost? Because it looks like Silver. What's her face?
That's not Alex Ross.
No, I said, is it?
It was DK Ruan.
That's Emma though? That's Emma Frost, right?
Yeah. Phil Noto. Miles Morales Spider-Man.
I like that cover. Not that one, the other one.
This one?
Yeah, I like that cover.
Let's see. It's okay.
Am I the only one who also thinks that the magic between Miles Morales has just died down since the last Spider-Verse, and there's hardly anything decent Gwen's Spider-Gwen either. It seems it's just run-of-the-mill stuff now. It's nothing
Yeah.
particularly special.
It's
Yeah.
because they got to slow it down and not move them around too much, right? Because until at least you get that Spider-Verse, that second part of that Spider-Verse movie out.
Well, you know what they should do is now that the Ultimate Universe is back, they should put him back in there
Maybe.
and have him mentor Peter Parker.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
This one is the Mateus Menahini.
Who? That doesn't matter.
Okay, what's distracting me on that cover is the ripped mask. His face looks all messed up in that hole. It looks weird. His cheek looks like blown out.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get your capillaries blown up. When you're close to getting a black eye, your face is not going to necessarily look the same.
Well, maybe that's what it is, but
Come on, man. You remember when it was to like throw fisticuffs back in the freaking day? You know when y'all used to fight like this?
yeah.
What you been used to?
Gentlemen's rules, Johnny.
Gentlemen's rules.
Fighting to get out the recliner chair doesn't count. Here's Mortal Thor. Do you know who this character is? Like who the cat is? Because people were telling me that it looks like...
That's Battle Cat from He-Man.
Yeah,
that's what everybody was
Cringer.
saying.
That's Cringer, my fearless friend.
That's exactly who it is. So, I mean, you can't tell me different.
Yeah. If it was Cringer, I'd buy that book, but it's not, so it's going to be pants. See, the Cringer or Beast Boy. It was one of the two.
There we go.
I have a feeling a bunch of people are going to buy this book just because of that.
It's gonna be that's a Thor versus He-Man variant.
Yeah. No, I am the most powerful man in the universe. No, I am the most powerful man in the universe.
I have the power. No, I have the power.
There's a 1 in 25 by Mahmoud Asr. 1997 by David Baldian.
He's a bit Walt Simonson on that, isn't he? He's trying to be.
Yeah. Thor's a bit top heavy in there.
Yeah. Rod Reese.
Good old Peter Ray Bill.
Carnage.
Who's buying that book?
Nobody. Nobody's buying it or reading it.
Why? So why are they publishing it? That's what is driving me nuts about Marvel. Let things have. They cancel things that are good and publish this direct.
There's a guy in a comic book shop I know, and he ordered. I think he ordered a statue set, a Carnage and Venom statue set, and they sent him the Venom one, but not the Carnage one. So he was like, "I'm not buying the whole set. I wanted it for the Carnage more than the other one." So there's still obviously some fans who love Carnage, but I think it's like the idea as opposed to buying the book.
Yeah.
This one is your Carnage #4, Chris Allen, The Stormbreakers. A little steampunk Spider-Man. Punisher, who is Jigsaw?
Oh, I forgot to mention Jigsaw in my Punisher review. Okay, well,
let's play.
Everything's the same except Jigsaw is an organization and not a dude. Anyway.
1997 action.
The hell? Who did that?
So,
Who did that cover?
This is exactly Bud's
Dan
point.
Jurgens.
That's a
Dan Jurgens? Dan Jurgens did that?
This is your point exactly, Bud. Frank Castle is bad news, and yet they stick him on a cover to try and sell a book that's not about him.
But notice that they make sure they covered up the logo.
But so Dan Jurgens did this cover? How big is that trash can? And what his right leg? What is going on there?
It's
it's disproportional. He looks like a midget. The brick wall. Look how big those bricks are.
His left leg is huge because it's just awful. And then
gotta-
you realise
gotta
that he's
hold the
actually
pouch.
he's supposed to be facing out. He's like shooting out of the book, isn't he? But he's kind of his chest and his groin are pointing one way, and the gun's pointing another way.
His neck is as thick as his chest.
His ponytail's as long as his.
That's the thing that I can't believe. His fucking ponytail. Like, come on, really?
What's up with that?
Really?
Sorry.
Aliens, Black, White, and Red. Excuse me, Black, White, and Blood. Ghost Riders. There was some pretty good freaking covers for Ghost Rider.
Hey, if it's on fire, doesn't mean it goes faster. We just found that out.
Yeah. He looks like he's floating somewhere. He's
He
not
must be really going really slow there. He's back.
All right. We're getting a little punchy here.
Yeah.
All right.
And this one is a foil variant. Let's
They still
see.
make those?
Yeah. Stormbreakers,
That's
White
awesome.
Widow,
Yeah,
and here's your White Widow Rose Beige.
that's
And here's a
awesome.
1 of 50.
What's that French for?
Rose
What?
beige.
Yeah, what is that? What does that mean? Translate that for me.
I have no idea. I'm English. Just because we're in Europe doesn't mean. Well, I'm not really in Europe anymore.
In this Dead X-Men #2, they talked about breaking the fabric of reality. So maybe, I don't know what they want to do with this, but I would suspect that if they wanted to get crazy, they might just mention Taylor Swift's name in here.
That sounds
Cable. You were asking me why Grey Gargoyle looks like Superman in this.
Dan Jurgens.
Here's your Hildebrandt.
Awful.
When does X-Men 97 drop on Disney Plus? I don't think it's dropping until summertime,
Jesus.
but we're getting so much stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
And if you guys want, there's just so much shit that just came out.
There's just
Well, let's see.
Oh, they're doing Giant Size because it's like the 50th anniversary of Giant Size,
Yeah.
whatever. So,
All right.
all right.
Let's get to the new releases. Here's your facsimiles that's coming out. 1 of
How
25.
much stuff's
and
coming
52.
out?
I know.
It's
I
good.
thought we were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avengers #5, Todd Knock, Wolverine with the Infinity Stones. Avengers Twilight #2.
Ooh.
Art Adams, Wolverine #42. People got a lot of their eyes on it. It's already going for $200. And that.
Is your 2-minute one?
Whew,
And 23 minutes. So we
Right.
they just freaking shot their wad all on this week.
we're gonna spin it off into its own show.
Yeah. We should do a 2-minute warning.
60-minute warning.
Hooray! You could have the bottom of the 7th. The 7th inning stretch.
There we go.
Well, really nice.
All right. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of No Price Podcast. Please join us again in a couple of weeks. We'll be smack in the middle of February. Spring training will be starting, and
Super Bowl, baby! Woohoo!
Super Bowl. It'll be Super Bowl time, and well, hey, who knows? Maybe one of our teams will, have hired a coach by then. I don't know.
I don't need a coach. We've lost a coach. He's lost. He's not got my coach or one of my coaches.
Yeah, we signed Gangiano for our offensive coach. Or was it defensive coach?
Defensive. Yeah, defensive.
It looks like we might be keeping the Belichick boys, the Suns. It's weird. That would be weird to me. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gents. I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Until then, stay safe.
Adios.
Oh.